Hello everyone, I'm Mazen Wahdan. I'm a product owner in JumiaPay. Today, in this video, we will be talking about the tokenization technology and the application of the tokenization technology in the payment industry. In the last couple of years, we have seen many new payment methods introduced to the market. Maybe you have been wondering how a person can use his mobile device to pay in a POS, or maybe he can use a wearable device like Apple Watch. Maybe you have been thinking how an application like Uber can easily trigger a transaction in your card after you finish a trip. Or you have been thinking how a merchant can easily and safely store your card data in their site for your future payments. All these applications, they are using the same technology, which is the tokenization technology. Today, I will be describing and trying to simplify the tokenization technology for you from a merchant and a user perspective. What is payment tokenization? Generally, tokenization is the act of replacing a sensitive data with a non-sensitive data. What is tokenization in payment system? Tokenization in payment is replacing a sensitive data like the card numbers or the credit card numbers with a non-sensitive data like a token, a string of numbers that has no value outside the payment systems. How does tokenization works? Let's have a very simple example that we have it every day. When you go to the kids park, what is the first thing that you will do? You will go to the cashier and start to exchange your money with a plastic coin to be able to play in the park. And that coin has no value outside the park. Like if you went to the ice cream shop next to the park and try to exchange that plastic coin with an ice cream, it will never work. Why? Because that coin has been made to be used only inside the park. This is the same concept of the tokenization. Tokenization and encryption. Many people will start thinking, why we go for a very complex, very advanced technology like tokenization while we have the encryption technology in the market? It has been there for a long time. And yes, both tokenization and encryption have the same function, keeping sensitive data secure using a cryptographic technology. However, encryption technology relies on a mathematical formula that can be reversed or decoded to the original data, while the tokenization technology relies on a non-mathematical approach that can never be or cannot be reversed to the original data. As we are talking now as for the payment industry, one of the biggest players in the payment industry is the PCI Council. The PCI Council stated that encrypted data is still sensitive data and it still needs to be under the scope of the PCI DSS certificate, while the tokenized data or the tokens are not sensitive data. Tokenizing your data or your card data, keeping your company safe and storing data that has no value outside your company. Even if there is any breach happened in your databases and the token numbers have been stolen, it has no value. It can never be used outside your environment. As we go back again to the same example we said of the kids' park, the plastic coins can never be used outside the park. If a merchant issued a token, this token can never be used outside the merchant environment. In the next couple of minutes, we will start talking about how we issue the token, who's the stakeholders of token issuance process, and how we use this token in the payment industry. To understand the tokenization process in the payment industry, first we need to know the stakeholders of the tokenization process. First, we need a customer who has a plastic card or a credit card from a bank. Then we have a token provider, which is usually the network scheme like MasterCard, Visa, or Misa, whatever the scheme that is available in your market. Let's take an example for the tokenization. A user who wants to use tap and pay feature. He has a fintech application or his internet banking application. The user will open the application and start adding his card data, the card number, the CVV, the expiry date, and then the application will take all this sensitive data and send it to the token provider, which is here in our example is MasterCard. Once MasterCard receive the card data, they start to check the availability of the tokenization for the card. This is the first check that is being done by MasterCard. Second step is the card eligibility. MasterCard will check the eligibility of the card to be tokenized. Once all these checks has been done successfully, MasterCard will send the card data to the issuer bank. The issuer bank will start authenticate this request. Is the card data is correct? Is the account of the user is active? It's available to be tokenized? All these checks and validation are performed by the issuer bank to make sure that the card and the request is valid. The last step is the authentication or the user authentication. The issuer bank wants to authenticate that the real owner of the card is the one that is requesting for the tokenization. The authentication process, it's very easy. The bank or the issuer bank have the mobile number that is linked to the card, and they will start sending an OTP, an SMS OTP, a push notification, or even a phone call to authenticate that this tokenization request is correct and it has been made by the real owner of the card. Once the authentication step has been done successfully, the bank will push the request or the response of this request to the token provider, or here MasterCard, saying that that card is eligible to be tokenized and the real user has been authenticated. Upon successful authentication, MasterCard will start to issue the token for the user. What they will do is they will take the real actual data of the card and start to tokenize it and issue a tokenized version of the same data. They keep the real data in their side in a vault and send the tokenized version of the real data to the mobile application or to a mobile application. And this step, we call it the token provisioning. It's saving the token inside your mobile application, which is a tokenized version of your real data. This token has no value outside the payment system. No one can use it, even if there is any breach happened or anyone can have access to your mobile device. He can never use this token outside your mobile application. Now, let's have an example of a token-based transaction. A user who has his card, his banking card, is tokenized in his mobile. How this transaction flies or the payment flow of this transaction? It's very easy. The user will go to the POS and tap his phone at the POS. Once the phone is tapped on the POS or at the POS will take the token and send it to the scheme, which is here in our example is MasterCard. MasterCard will automatically identify that this transaction is a token-based transaction. Then what they will do is to apply a cryptographic validation on the token to make sure that this token is working token, it's not expired, it has not been deleted before. And then once the validation is succeed, they revert the token to the real data. They take the real data and send it to the issuer bank. The issuer bank will start doing the card and account validation. The card is working, it's not expired, the account is not blocked and has sufficient balance. Once all these validations is done successfully, the issuer bank sends the transaction back to MasterCard. MasterCard will receive the result from the bank saying that transaction has been authenticated successfully. Then MasterCard will start to convert back the data, the actual BAN number of the card to the token version and send the result and send that token with the result to the terminal or to the POS. Once the result will be sent from MasterCard to the terminal, the receipt will be printed to the customer. All this process takes milliseconds to be done. The main benefit of using the tokenization in the payment industry is increasing the security and minimizing the risk of storing the data, the card data in the merchant environments. What is the benefit of the tokenization on the customers? Customers, the benefit here is indirect benefit. The confident that you can easily or you can safely store your data in the merchant, and you know that this merchant has no clue about your card data. They have a token version, a tokenized version of your data, so you don't have to be worried if any leaks happen on this merchant. So increasing your confidence in making transactions, seamless experience. As we said before, tokenization technology opened a wide door for innovations, for one-click payment, for merchant-initiated transactions, for many applications that all of them have the same impact on the customer, which is a seamless payment experience. For the merchant, the main benefit for the merchant of having a tokenized data or obtaining the tokenization technology is minimizing the risk of storing a very critical card data in your site. By storing a tokens, you are minimizing the PCI DSS scope that you are required to obtain. You are having less hassle of handling a sensitive data or even an encrypted data that's still a risk data. We have reached to the end of our video. I hope that we simplified this complex or advanced technology for you. We have covered the tokenization technology, the uses of the tokenization technology in the payment, the difference between the tokenization and the encryption services or technologies, and the benefit of the tokenization for the user, for the customer, for the merchants. I hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned for more.